Good morning, everyone, and welcome to American Scouser's Morning Coffee or Tea with American Scouser, brought to you by our friends at Reckless Coffee Roasters. It is Wednesday, back in action. Number one dad and number two dad is somewhere in Anchor, Illinois. Is that what he said? I'm in Illinois. I have no idea where that is. And he probably doesn't either, or internet doesn't, because he could not find any way to get connected. But I have no fear. Kazi is here. And as always, John is here. John, what's happening?
I'm good. Rocking the American Scouser merch on a not so mellow midweek, I guess, considering the news, everyone.
Yeah, the news keeps coming on. And at this point, it's like I don't even know what to believe. Kazi, what's happening with you?
All good, brother, yeah. It's nice. The Reds play again. And when the Reds are winning, I like to watch the Reds play. So that's quite nice. Yeah.
How nervous are we from a 0 to Timuchin of a great scale? Where are we at? 0 to 10, 10 being holy shit. John, where are you at?
For the record, Timuchin's like 20, right?
Yeah.
Like 10 is like holy shit.
Off the scale, so I'm not even throwing
off the
that.
Scale. Well, let's just say I'm glad.
But it's like an algebra where Timuchin is the constant. And then, you just
watching compilations of Carlton Morris on YouTube and thinks he looks like a prime R9. Yeah.
For me, it's just I'm kind of glad that I won't be able to see the match later because I know it's going to be a freaking slog. And this is me reverse jinxing it. Like, for all we know, we're going to come out 4-0 winners like we did against Brentford last weekend, where it was easier than expected. But yeah, I'm expecting a tough game. Nervousness, probably an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, like normally a game like this, I would be at an 8 out of 10 for God's sakes. But I think it's just the unknown and like who's going to be out there and what's going to be there is what's like kind of like worries me. Where are you at with this, guys? You're like the calmest of all usually.
Yeah. I'm not worried at all that Liverpool beat them anyway. I don't care who they start. Liverpool are better than Luton, and I know you can say the draw and stuff like that, but I think the big key of this game, guys, which no one's really considering, and you should consider our injuries, and it's a very, very valid point, is that Luton are not used to playing twice in a week.
Yeah, that's true.
Luton are not used to a midweek game. The manager has a big decision to make because I think he's got a home game on Saturday, which might be the bigger game than winning at Anfield. Like, kind of think, like, where can he get his points from? Because if I'm down the bottom, I don't know if I was the manager, I would be picking and choosing games to go, I've got to get my points from that. And that's going to be enough points to keep me up. And anything else is a bonus. I think at Luton, I'm sure they're at home. I think they've got a favourable one at home, kind of thing. I say favourable, but it is Luton. Villa at home at R5. Now, Villa have not been great though the last few weeks. I know they got a win last week, but they haven't been great. They've got their injuries as well. So if you actually look at it and think, where are the games I'm going to pick up my points, he's more likely to pick up his points from Villa. So he might look at resting players himself and make 3 or 4 changes and think, well, I've got, So we're also, as much as we can concentrate on Liverpool, which we should, we are Liverpool fans, there's also a part of this where Luton might go, maybe we're not going to go and get it in anyway. And I'm going to run my lads.
Interesting question. If you're managing a team like that,
yeah,
you said you would map out, Crystal Palace home. I got to get 3 from there. I got to get
100%. Yeah. I'm
almost like putting all your eggs in one basket,
But it is a way around Anfield overall. It's not like, you know what I mean? There's 6 games a season you can kind of write off and go, if we get anything from that, it's a massive bonus, which is Anfield, the Etihad, Old Trafford, Spurs, Arsenal, you know what I mean? So there's certain games where you look and go, you know what, I've got to prioritise. I don't remember the last time, maybe over Christmas, Luton did it, where they went from a Saturday night game. Did they play Saturday night against United? They're going to Anfield, going to get ran around for 100 minutes and barely touch the ball. Let's get it right, Liverpool. Doesn't matter who they play, they're going to have about 20% of the ball, aren't they? Let's be fair here.
Yeah.
Not who Liverpool start, and then you're going alone against Villa. So there's a part of this where you go, that could be my game. Let's get it right. Every single home game Luton have played, they've given people nightmares. Arsenal needed the last-minute winner. Liverpool needed the last-minute equaliser. They took the lead against City. They were 3-0 down to Chelsea and brought it back to 3-2 at one point and could have got a draw from that game. So everyone they played at home, they've always given a good account of themselves. They'll fancy that Villa half an hour at Kenilworth Road, and I think the manager fancies it. But I think managers down the bottom have to pick and choose games at that time, surely. You've got to pick and choose rest, and you've got to pick
Okay,
and choose.
so this time of year you're saying, or like throughout the season when you just got promoted, you're looking at the schedule like that?
Well, if you're Luton, you're on. I think they're on 20 points. I think. So they're on 20 points. 16 more points probably keep it up. Maybe 18 more points keep it up. I think you've got to start picking the games where you get your points from.
Okay, so you're starting now.
Yeah, I do it over Christmas as well, but I kind of think that's what you do. But
yeah, they're 20 points with one game to play over Everton, who's above them.
Yeah, which was because Tom Lockyer winner. It was that Bournemouth away. Tom Lockyer collapsed on the pitch, and that was where the game got
yeah.
That's the game. So that's another game, Bournemouth away, where you kind of look and go, can I sneak a draw there? So that's one of those games, I think. And I understand this point as well, by the way. I can see him going to a PL club, so can I. But what's better on his record? It's better on his record is keeping Luton in the Premier League or getting relegated. It's keeping Luton and the best way to keep Luton in the Premier League is pick and choosing games, I think. But
if you manage Luton or Burnley or one of these shit teams like Everton or somebody like that, what do you got? That was a painful watch. Speaking of like painful watches, we were talking in the pre-match about
like having a root canal winner.
I didn't look at that. Like after we talked about it, I didn't look at it like probably like 30 or 40 minutes. And yikes, I've seen a lot better games, like watching like Jasmine's and Layla's teams and stuff. A lot better like football being played, like more sense being made on the pitch. John, if you manage one of these crap teams, are you mapping it out like that? I just worry that, how do you pass that on to your team as a manager, right? I understand what Kazi is saying, but you can't be like, we're going against Liverpool, so who shits? You guys gonna go out there kind of a thing. That will be the hard part for me, for the manager to kind of contain, because players know, right? Like when you put the 11 out there and you're putting somebody. So how are you managing it, John?
Yeah, it's tough. I'd probably want to start all like you were bringing up the whole schedule thing, and that's a really good point. Like probably early on in the season, I'd try and approach every game as if, hey, let's go out and win this, which is obviously good for the morale, which keeps the players motivated, but it's kind of like a wait and see kind of deal and adjust accordingly, depending on where we are on the table. Like with Luton, I totally agree with Kazi in terms of what he would do now. Because right now they have an extra game to play over Everton, and they could realistically stay up. Like, we don't even know if Everton are going to be deducted even more points because they were charged again. So they have to like hang in there. They have to make some, get some good results, whether that's at Anfield or anywhere else. But yeah, like I said, ever since I joined American Scouser, the pragmatic approach. That approach from Kazi is extremely pragmatic, and it makes
right in front of our eyes.
There's a part of this though. If you're Luton, as I say, you want fresh players, you want legs at Anfield. You need legs, otherwise you're going to get battered. Let's get it right. They're not very good away from home. I know they got 4 against Newcastle, but that's kind of a one-off for this season. So they're not very good away from home, and the home record means so much. So that means he has to make changes. If he goes with the same 11 again that played against United, we'll run all over them. We'll run all up. We'll just outwork them. Because they're not used to doing the Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday kind of deal. That's not what they're built for. They're built for the 1 game a week kind of deal. So I think he will make 3 or 4 changes, which is unexpected. And yes, by the way, whoever commented, the Adebayo, Bam Adebayo's out.
Yeah.
And Bam Adebayo is a freak. What a footballer, by the way. He's going to be in the Premier League next year. Wherever, So that is a massive plus for Liverpool. Because Adebayo is out, he is, and he will give
finally some luck our way. Sorry, Colin.
Mate, you're right. You're right, mate. Because I feel like everyone gets their players back or something like that when they're about to play. Liverpool. So it's nice that one's missing. So that's a bit of a bonus. You know what I mean?
Remember fucking Conte, man? He'd be injured for like 6 months.
Yeah. Then he would show up for the.
He was like Universal Soldier, weren't he? Like fucking Ivan Drago in Rocky IV.
What's going on? We're playing the final, and he would just show up.
Wake up out of a coma like the Undertaker, like Liverpool, is it? Yeah. Great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Bickler says as good as the bio is that team runs through Morris. And that'd be one thing, right? Like Morris battled the whole game last week. Is he going to be able to do the same thing again in like 3 days? So really important, like weird who they're going to rotate. Football Flashback is in the house. Devastated because he had bet Connor Bradley to get 3 assists.
Why is he devastated?
I don't know. That has to be some good odds, I would think. But now no Mo from what we hear. Not like nothing official. That's the word on the streets.
Why is he devastated? Like Cody's pretty clinical, right, Kazi? He'd get on those crosses, bury it.
3 assists is kind of like,
Mate, I mean, listen, Luton are very... not route one, because that's the wrong way to say it, but Bickler's right, everything goes through Morris, but they are very good on the ball and stuff like that, but I still find, as much as with no disrespect, Luton have won 5 games this season. Can we just relax? As much as Liverpool have injuries, they've won fucking 5 games, and most of them are at home, so let's just chill out, we're fine. I think one of their away games is Everton away, they beat Everton away, which I'm always a big fan of Luton just for that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, everyone just, we have a cup final, and clearly, by the sounds of it, Salah and Darwin could be out for this game, but they could be back for the final, which tells me it's Wednesday till Sunday. There's not a lot difference, guys, can happen in 72 hours. So the manager might be even prioritising a little bit the cup final, and still thinks he can get over the line in this game.
I mean, I feel like if they're not playing today and they can play on Sunday, it's not being risked. If that is the case, can you not also see them, John, for maybe being available off the bench and coming in for 20 minutes or so? But it goes back to what Sir Z is saying. Like, I can kind of see how the stadium would be all nervous once they see the lineup out there. And almost if it's better not to have Mo and Nunez sitting there on the sideline so that everybody's just like more worried about when are they going to come in instead of, kind of focus on the game in front of them.
Right. It gives like a psychological incentive, I think, to the team where, okay, we can go all out here. We should go all out, but we have 2 safety nets on the bench. Well, half fit safety nets, mind you, in Salah and Nunez. I feel like for the players, like we always talk about this, Tim, there's always a chance, and this year we've kind of showed it more often than not, where if we're missing guys, we're kind of locked in from the get-go. And I think for this game, we need a result immediately. We need a win for sure. Maybe with Salah and Nunez, that might, kind of inspire the guys who are playing right now, as it has done throughout the year, to play, give their 110%. And of course, Sergi saying that the game will be flat. I think Klopp has mentioned in his press conference, kind of calling on people to, get behind the team. I actually fully expect people to be up for it, considering that, everyone will be nervous, but then they also know that they need, we need their backing 100%. So not worried on the crowd front. On the Salah and Nunez front, I completely understand missing this game. I wouldn't risk it, because I sent a link yesterday whether, which game is more important to win, like this one or the one on Sunday. Like, absolutely no question for me. Like, I know people are split on this. There are people who would say, Sunday doesn't matter as long as we win this game. Man, we're at the doorstep of a cup final. No, we are at a cup final, right? We're in the conversation for a trophy Sunday all day long. If they can't play here, fine. As Kazi said, Luton have 5 wins all year. We should be beating them. Focus up Darwin and Salah on for Sunday, I would say.
See, that's like an interesting one. So like since we got to that, let's jump to that. I was going to ask you guys, actually, before we go to that, let me ask you this, Kazi. So we talked about these guys being on the bench, or not even on the bench. For a player on the pitch, this is what I worry about, is I can see them being a lot more comfortable and playing their game, knowing this is a game they got, right? Like we talked about, like Curtis Jones, like at the end of last season, knowing I'm going to start again and again and again. And that comfort of taking your time to do whatever, playing within the system, as opposed to thinking I got 60 minutes to do whatever I have to do. A guy like Gravenberg or somebody like that saying I got 60 minutes to show before these guys otherwise going to come in to clean it up. Do you want that? Because that's what I worry about this game, is whoever goes out there is going to try to do almost too much to kind of, make up for all the people that are not here today with us.
I think there's a mentality thing, isn't it? I think it all depends on the player's mentality. I think the manager would like the fucking safety net, trust me. I watched City yesterday and they had De Bruyne on the bench, which is a lovely safety net to have if it doesn't go your way. So I think the manager would like that. Listen, I think there's a part of this where there's players who are going to probably play tonight who haven't had many starts, like an Elliott, maybe, Gravenberch. There's an argument for Kay Gordon on the wing if Salah's not fit. So there's also a point there, though, there's a case study of Conor Bradley. So the case study is, well, he come in and got his chance, and now he looks like he's a permanent fixture in Liverpool's side.
Yeah.
And by the way, if Liverpool lose the game tonight, Liverpool can still win the league because it's still in Liverpool's hands. Just put that on record. Like, so I don't understand that part of this. Yes, it's a failure if Liverpool do not win, but if Liverpool do not win the game, we can still win the league because it's still in our hands.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we had the same panic after the Arsenal game. I think it's still way too early.
Oh, no, not us, Tim.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Not us.
You know what I mean? So there's a part of this where we just all need to keep our heads.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think it's a mentality issue, Tim. I really do. I think it depends. That's up to the players. But if I go in and play well, let's get this right. The manager right now probably only knows about 4 players who start in the final. So there's also a part here where you go out and play unbelievable, and then you're probably going to start the final. So if you want to go and play at Wembley and start football games for Liverpool and a massive football match in cup finals, I feel like this is also your last opportunity to get into that team as well. So you've got to go in and still play, the right way and still play with the right formation and not do too much. I think the atmosphere things are really interesting amongst. I think if Liverpool score in the first 10, which is possible because it's still Liverpool Football Club guys playing Luton Town at home. If Liverpool score in the first 10, then I think it's like a party atmosphere, just singing Wembley songs, like with the greatest team in Europe, and we're going to Wembley for 90 minutes. Right. Do you know what I mean? Because it's going to be like that atmosphere of like a cup final. I think we've been in these games before where, again, as soon as Liverpool won the game at Brentford, you could hear we're the greatest team in Europe and we're going to Wembley. You could hear it just like for 20 minutes. So it was just like, because, it is that kind of mood. All these fans are going to Wembley. So I think if Liverpool score in the first 10, 15, it could be like a bit of a carnival atmosphere in a way and a really good time. So, but I think it's all about mentality of the players.
Let me just bring up that we were supremely worried about the Brentford game as well. And look how that turned out.
Well, the Brentford thing, though, was more of a difficult one because we hadn't won it at Brentford.
Yeah, and it was away. I think that was my biggest concern. Just being away is always tricky. Regardless of the team, regardless of where they're at. I mean, we just talked about how Luton is at home. Like regardless of the team, there's like that 10, 15%. For some teams, it's a bit more that they get at home to close the gap between you and them in terms of like quality. So being the resident Gravenberg representative agent.
Yes, and proud of it.
Back to being proud of it, because you were in the hiding for a little bit there. You put the Homer.
I was realistic about him, but I never hit him. You take that back. I never hit. Yeah, I accepted that he wasn't as good, but I never hit. I took it like a man. I'd like to believe.
So where do you think your boy's mentality would be? Because I really think he is going to be one of the key guys today. I mean, I think we all definitely expect him to start, right? I mean, just based on the number of people that's missing, you kind of expect him to be out there. I expect him to be out there instead of Jones, taking Jones' spot. What do you think? Like, what do you expect from him today? Not what do you want, but what do you expect? Now that you're this mature realist among us.
What do I expect from him? Ooh, that's a very good question. I expect him to be a bit more safe with it. Against Brentford, like, let's be real. I was scrolling through the Scouser chat because I didn't catch the entirety of the game, but people were saying, oh, Gravenberch is actually good. So more of that, please. Yeah, more of that, please. He came in, everyone was like, ah, shit, it's fucking Gravenberch. But then watching the game, watching the replay, more of that, please. The control he showed there. No option, pass it back. Move around, don't force it. More of that, please. I expect him to try and build on it. I don't think he's necessarily going to replicate Curtis Jones 1-for-1 because they are two entirely different players. But let's face it, it's a massive chance for him. Like, I'm sure it kind of dawned on his head, like, oh, Jones is going to be out for a bit here. Like, this is my opportunity to step up. He's a young kid, and this is probably the biggest chance of his Liverpool career. I don't know, like it's very early, but it's safe to say it might be his biggest chance ever. So he has to take it. I expect him to struggle a little bit, but then kind of keep going on and on, getting better strength to strength as the game goes on. Because I think Luton's going to be playing a low block. He doesn't really do well against a low block, but as the game goes on, he's going to get better. He's going to recycle the ball better. He's going to distribute it better. So. 7 out of 10 performance, I would say, Tim, if I was going to predict.
I mean, in honesty, I don't even know. I mean, was Gravenberch that good against Brentford? Yeah. I mean, I thought
he was decent.
Was he really that good, or Kazi, or was he like compared to what we maybe used to seeing or what we were worried about seeing? It came as a pleasant surprise, and everybody around him. I mean, as the team, like I said, when we were talking about in the post-match, if you wanted to grade individual performances, you couldn't find anybody below 7. So obviously, when everybody around you plays that well, automatically it's going to raise you up a little bit too.
I suppose. I know. I understand your point there, Tim. I thought he played well. I really did. I thought it was his best game for a while because he just did the things that I wanted him to do, which was keep it simple. Stop trying to take 7 men up. Just relax and keep the ball simple and keep it moving. Like we get out of Jones, basically. And I thought he came on and did that admirably, which is what I want out of my midfielders sometimes. Just to come on and keep it simple and keep the ball moving and, don't make the early pass and keep the, don't take the early 35-yard shot out. So there's a party with Gravenberch, and I agree a little bit with John. The next 3 games are massive for him because we have 4 fit midfielders in Endo, McAllister, Elliott, and Gravenberch right now. I think, unless I'm missing someone. If you want to add McConnell in there and Clark, you can. But you would say 4 fit senior midfielders. I would start him tonight and against Southampton next week. And I'd also tell him he's starting those games. I'll go, you're starting those 2 games.
Not on the final, though.
No, I don't think I'd do him for the final because I don't know if Szoboszlai's back. This is, you know what I mean? So if Szoboszlai's back, then you probably have to start him. So he's in a very, very interesting part of his career. But again, I thought he was really good against the Brentford mates, and I think it's something that hopefully he can build off. I would give him the start tonight, and I'd start him against Southampton. Again, I would tell him he's starting both and go get yourself ready. You're going to be a part of this like journey with us. Do you know what I mean? And you're going to have big moments to say. And by the way, he has had big moments to say in the Europa League, in the group stages. I thought he was really good early doors. Early doors.
Yeah, with Gravenberch, it's like he started really well, but then fell off considerably.
Is falling off the right word? Or is it, you know what, like he's barely kicked the ball in anger for a year and has had no pre-season?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Do you know what I mean? So I don't like saying falling off as such. I just think it's catching up with him. The minutes and the time on the pitch is just, he hasn't had it for years. And I feel like it's just probably that. I don't know if the rail's fallen off. It's a bit. And also, Liverpool midfielders are really tough to play in Liverpool's midfield. It's really tough to play in our midfield. We ask so much out of our midfielders. So, I don't know. Let's see what happens with him.
I know. I feel a little bit of it is. See, I don't agree with Ryan. He's not a championship level player. I think he's a really solid player. I think I take it as, when you go from, it almost like was a bit too easy in the beginning. And maybe he thought, hey, this is going to be pretty easy. Yeah. And it kind of like caught up on him. Maybe. Like I know I used to play when I like the indoor games, I used to be in this league that was like all mixed, right? So I'm the old fart. And it's rough, man. You're playing against like college kids and stuff like that. And let me tell you guys out there, at my age, playing against college kids, you really got to use technique and everything because those guys are fast and they never get tired and stuff like that. Then I went to this over 35 league. And I was like, oh, this is party time. There's no college kids to chase around. This is nice. But then you almost get a little bit overconfident and start doing some shit that you normally would not do. And I felt like he started and he was on a run. And let's face it, like he went from Ajax to Bayern expecting to almost take the next step. You can't, right? So you're all frustrated. Then you come over here and his first initial games were like really, really good. And maybe you get the feeling that, hey, it's what the heck? We're going to, it was all Bayern, I guess. This thing is pretty, this is me. But then maybe you got overconfidence and some stuff got caught up to him, John, that's he fell off a little bit. Or did our expectations go suddenly sky high? We went from, this is a fast genie, suddenly, from like him, like, let's see what we got over here. And then we talked about him, jumping on the elevator in the last second too. Yes, the Lee Carable of the U25s. Yes.
With his shorts that high as well, like Lee Catamol.
Pretty much. And then you can yell at everybody. So that's the beauty of it. Like you can come out and yell at everybody, nobody's gonna call you out on it. You'd be like, if you got up to like college kids, they wouldn't have scored on us. It's never my fault.
For me, I think it's kind of like adrenaline. It gives you a strength. It gives you like a bit of power. It gives you a bit of speed from time to time, but then it wears off. That's exactly what happened to Gravenberch. I think it doesn't help the fact that when he actually started getting into our Premier League, squad consistently, we started facing teams that would defend more against us. He doesn't seem like the kind of player who does well against a low block compared to, let's say, a McAllister or a Szoboszlai, who's a bit trickier with the ball. And of course, the fact that he doesn't have a training camp pretty much caught up to him. Like Ozzy said, being a Klopp midfielder is no joke, man.
Yeah.
Like everything you have to do on the offensive, defensive side of the ball, without the ball, with the ball is just insane. like aside from the physical traits, it's not all physicality. Like let's face it, Gravenberch's a big dude. He can dribble. He can run, but it's all what's in here. And with a club midfielder, it's about what's in here, and that can be honed through training camp, through reps, even more reps, which he hasn't had the chance to get. So again, keep banging on the drum. Let's not give up on him. He's still a very young player as well, 21.
Yeah.
If we gave up on Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott at this point in their careers, we wouldn't have them now. And they're pretty good now. So let's do the same with Gravenberch, please, guys.
I think our last thing on Gravenberch here, Tim, right, which is the one I really want to nail on to people, right? The Brentford game was the most Klopp midfielder performance he's put in. It's the most Klopp midfielder performance he has put in since he's moved to Liverpool, where you just kept it simple, done your take-ons, done your step-overs when needed, and just kept it simple. That's exactly sometimes what we need out of our midfielders, and that's what Klopp asks. So that was his best performance as a Klopp midfielder. So let's build from that. So see what happens.
Hey, the Polish Prince says, hola from Barcelona. He's in Barcelona. He says 70 degrees here, and he says this is his best Alan impression, checking in and giving a weather update over there.
Nice.
Polish Prince roaming around the world. So I had the chance again to show myself and to show my qualities. I think I am officially retiring the great opportunity for Ox, who is out again with had another surgery and he's out for the year. I think I'm going to go with the great opportunity for Gravenberch over here from moving forward. Is he the new Ox in terms of potential? Obviously, Ox had the injury issues, but he was the guy that you felt could come off the bench and had the quality to do something, but at times just frustrated the hell out of you, and frustrated probably himself, Kazi, because he could not do the contributions that he was used to doing. So 3 years from now, where's Gravenberch going to be?
Oh, a Liverpool player, yeah. Like, he's 21 years of age, man. Fucking, you know what I mean? He's 21. He's a kid. He's a kid. They have setbacks here and there. They're not, not everyone's a fucking Michael Owen or a Wayne Rooney, and they just play well from the 17 on. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? Again, 2 years ago when Curtis Jones was 21, no one fancied him, and now he's Liverpool's most important player. And when Curtis Jones got injured, everyone was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, this is the end of the world kind of thing. So let's just see what happens. He just needs to stay fit and get games. Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like I think he'll be a starting midfielder for Liverpool at 24. And he'll probably be the captain of fucking Netherlands as well.
Baker says no one wants to hear this, but Basetic is the new Ox. Lozo promised, but will always be dealing with that injury. I blame us for hooking him up with Thiago on that one because it probably looks like Rob.
He never got over Roma, did he? Ox. He never got over the Roman injury when he done his knee against Roma away in 2018. He never got over that.
He had those issues at Arsenal too, didn't he? He's kind of like a chronic. I mean, some people just have bad luck, but
he had hamstrings and a few muscle problems at Arsenal, but the Roma one killed him, didn't it? I will stand the ground. I know Salah got injured again in Kiev, but I always feel like if we had Oxlade-Chamberlain fit, that game would win the game anyway. Because he was so good going into that season. He was unbelievable.
He was.
And then Roma destroyed him, man.
I got a lot of heat for it, but if you ever go back and look at the title-winning year, like if you look at highlights, goals, and stuff, he is in a lot of them. Either creating them, scoring them. He is in a lot of them.
I remember, was it Bournemouth the way he got the first goal? We won 3-1 and stuff like that. I remember, he does contribute a lot, doesn't he? And that's, you're right, man. You're right.
Dude, you have a ridiculous memory. Shows how...
I know, everyone always says that about football games, those goals. You remember that? I'm like, because I watched it.
Maybe it's watched so much that it kind of starts to overlap a little bit. Was that game, or was that the other Bournemouth game?
Yeah, I know, bro. It's so sad. I've got a wife and a child. You wouldn't believe it, would you?
It's a shame because that season where we won the league kind of showed us that, despite Ox's big injury, he maybe still has a chance to become that player, but then. Obviously, 2 seasons, 1 season, 2 seasons after he kept getting injured. It's just. But
he contributed, didn't he? And he has a feel like he contributed to this. When we won the quadruple season in the domestic cups, he contributed early doors.
Yeah, he was good. He was good. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he was one of those players as well. He contributed. You feel like you've earned your medal. And I've always got a soft spot for him. I'll say Chamberlain.
I think the dude is unlucky too. Like he went to Besiktas. He was like, he didn't get the starting 11 right away. They didn't understand how to use him, I think, more than anything else. He starts playing, coming off the bench first. Then he starts doing well, kind of like scoring goals and like carrying that, like he was playing that attacking midfielder kind of a thing. And then he gets hurt again, out for the year. Like every time he gets going, it feels like it's never he'll be out for like a week or 2 weeks or something. When he goes out. Yeah. Like he's out for like now he has surgery. He's out for the rest of the year. Ryan is not sold on. He thinks we're wearing blinders on this. I just think
fair enough.
It's way too early.
Yeah,
to kind of call it either way, kind of a deal. That's where I'm at, I think.
By the way, championship level, have you seen the championship players that have fucking come up to the Premier League this season? He's better than all of them. So let's just relax on the championship level. Do you know what I mean? The free championship.
I think he's a lot better than that.
This fucking Tom Davis who starts for Sheffield United in the Premier League. Let's just fucking hang on a second. You know what I mean?
I guess the only concern is, like I say, what happened at Bayern is like the main thing. Or he just realized, I know Bayern has had a lot of stories about having clicks, certain people playing regardless and stuff like that, kind of like within that locker room. I know, like heck, mine had some issues there and stuff too, but I'm assuming, or I'm hoping, that was the reason where he never could really find himself a spot or get the opportunity. But now we can easily say it's a great opportunity for Gravenberch, because we're assuming, John, that your boy is definitely starting, right? Who's starting for you in midfield today?
Yeah. I mentioned last show that I would have Elliot, Gravenberch, probably Endo for first 60, then sub him off with McAllister, or vice versa. Either way, because we don't really have people to do that. So we don't really have people either way. So I feel like Klopp's going to do that. So it's Gravenberch, Elliot, Endo / McAllister for me in midfield. What about you, Kazi? You seem...
I like that, bro. No, I think he's... weirdly, don't ask why, and I don't know why it's coming to me, but I think he's going to do McAllister in the 6th. I don't know why. I think he's going to do Gravenberch and Elliot. And I think
kind of have no choice there, right?
Are you putting Gordon up top? Is that how you?
I think I would do Gordon on the wing. I think he scored last week, didn't he? In the under-23s, first goal back. And I think if you do believe in him that much and he's that good of a player, don't be surprised. And I know people's heads are going to fall off that you see McConnell this game, not for a start, but maybe off the bench. If Liverpool are winning,
him off the bench,
like a McConnell coming in and just doing that job as well, just to get him out of jail. So I feel like there's a part where you go McAllister and Endo in a kind of an interchangeable kind of thing, but also McConnell seeing the game out in a weird way. If Liverpool are winning quite comfortably, he needs to get the numbers in for the final. He does. So that's where Bobby Clark will come in. Fucking and McConnell, Kay Gordon, these lads are going to play today or be on the bench at the bare minimum. So.
I mean, in an ideal scenario, we take an early lead and kind of like ride that. And, Luton is like, that's fine. We'll get ready for the weekend. And we kind of like,
there's a part,
just finish
it
up.
I think there's a part of this game, guys, and I really do think there's a part of this game where if Luton go 2-3-0 down, they go, just don't make this 5. Don't make a storyline out of this. Do you know what I mean? There's a part.
Yeah, I think even if it is 2, I think they go back to what you were talking about earlier. They're like, you know what? Yeah, we got the weekend coming. So,
There's a part of this where you just go, let them keep the ball, and Liverpool shake hands on the 60 for 2-0 and go, want to shake hands here? Let's not turn this into a football match at 2-0 on the 60. Liverpool come off the gas, Luton come off the gas and go, we'll just take a 2-0 and we'll just take our defeat today. And there could be a part of that argument as well.
That's why my prediction, John, was obviously the Timuchin special, and I kind of went with an 3-0 where we put everybody, including ourselves, to sleep to a point where they get one towards the end, and it's a 3-1 win.
Yeah.
But then again, this was before, or this was at least partially hoping that, either Mo or Nunez will be out there. And I still think one of them is going to be out there to start this game.
Oh, I mean, hopefully, but then it's definitely like a last 20 minutes kind of deal, I feel. Don't want to risk it. As Kazi said, we should have enough. Gakpo has been great coming off the bench. He definitely deserves a starting chance for once. I actually feel for him because, he's a really good player, but it just so happens that everyone in front of him is so freaking good as well, with Nunez, Jota, Diaz, Salah, of course. So, yeah, this is his chance. Everyone's talking about Gravenberch trying to make the most of this opportunity. Same with Cody Gakpo. We have a great player there who just happens to not get minutes for us. Yeah. Luis Diaz has improved massively over the last few weeks. So we probably should go to him in terms of being our outlet, on that wing. If you're talking predictions, Tim, I would actually say 2-1. We go 2-0. It's comfortable until like the 86th, and then we let in that weird goal.
And the squeaky bum
Yeah,
time.
the squeaky bum time. I think that's how it's gonna go. Honestly,
I don't. Nah, man. I think Liverpool just go 2-0 and then just take 2-0. I think they both take 2-0. I think Luton take 2-0. I think he looks at Rob Edwards and goes, "You fucking make any moves here, fella. Like, if you make any fucking moves, like, we're gonna just turn it back on again for you." Liverpool are very, very good in squad game management. Liverpool are very good at killing games now. Better like they were when we won the league season and stuff like that. In terms of, we have our moments in games, we pick and choose when to attack a little bit, and we know when to take breaks in games. Liverpool, I feel like there were a lot of internal breaks. So from sometimes of Liverpool winning a game from like the 35 to the 45 half time, they'll take a break and just kill it. And then I think they were very good at that. So I can actually, I can actually see that happening as well with Liverpool kind of do that.
Yeah, people in the comments asking for money over here. So I don't know if we're going to be sending it. Let's gather around some money over here. But if you do have money to send, you can sign up for our Patreon. We were talking earlier today about some content for that the Scouse, Irishman, and the Turk concepts. And yeah, that should be an interesting one by itself. That by itself should be the worth the price of admission on there. But we'll probably be posting clips of it too, so you guys at least can get like a glimpse of some of the content we're gonna throw on there. We're gonna throw some gaming content on there. I know Harry is gonna be back with his tactics board and stuff like that. Actually, like his next one is gonna be about Xavi Alonso, which I'm not even gonna get to today or anytime soon.
Want to talk about Tuchel for a minute?
Dude, I actually saw the headline and I was going to bring it up. Today at Anfield and Sunday at Anfield South. Good to have 2 home games, says London Cup TV. Yes, I mean, that's the good thing about today, right? With all the people we would be missing, being home is very important. But before we get to Tuchel, because I did want to ask you guys about that. Defense, back line. We talked about it before about like especially Robertson and stuff like that. Let me ask you this, Kazi. Knowing that there are so many other people missing, do you play a solid, aside from Bradley, experience? Maybe you put Kwanzaa in there or if you put Gomez in there, but an experienced back line to at least say, knowing Allison is not there as well.
Yeah.
Kind of like, have some like stability established in the back, maybe put Mac in front of him and stuff. Or do you gamble? Because I know when we were talking about it on Monday, there were a lot of like gambling ideas of like putting Gomez at left back, putting Costas and stuff like that.
Costas?
I think Costas.
I don't see Costas just because we have not seen him in a while. Like if we had seen him the last 20 minutes, and I thought I did see him, but then we checked on the Monday Night Podcast and he wasn't there. I almost like feel like, then he would have maybe rolled the dice, but I just don't see him starting cold, especially with all these other new pieces out there at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he rolls the dice defensively. I don't think he does. The argument is the Kwanzaa one. Do you want to get Kanate another week off before the final? I think that's the argument. But I think Virgil plays. I think the one thing I would love is Kelleher to get a clean sheet. Like I would really, for him alone, never mind the fucking defensive had loads. But I think for him to have a clean sheet before the final, going into that big game, because he knows he's going to start, it's massive for him. And I think also if you're Kelleher, you'd like to know that the fucking defence who's going to start for Luton and the final. You'd like to know it's basically the same lads or close to being the same lads, like Robertson and Van Dijk and Bradley, if it is Bradley. Do you know what I mean? And then maybe only one in between, because there has to be a communication part between the defence and goalkeeper. You have to understand each other. You have to know when one's coming, one's going. It's the one part of the pitch where you need continuity, is the defence and the keeper. So if I'm a young keeper, I'd like to know who the fuck's starting in front of me for the next few games, like, and have an idea of it. So I think the manager goes strong. You don't roll the dice defensively, I don't think. I think the toss of a coin is Kanate, Kwanzaa, or Gomez, who start centre half next to Virgil. I think the other 3 pick themselves.
That's what I was going to ask. So let me ask you that, because London Cup TV also says Gomez has done nothing wrong to miss out tonight on Instagram, which we are on Instagram live now as well, by the way, aside from like YouTube and Facebook, as always. Has Gomez kind of almost screwed himself, suddenly becoming this, backup for right back, left back, and everybody forgot that the dude is actually a center back. Yeah. And normally, I mean, I think if you looked at that depth chart, if you will, Gomez would probably be above Kwanzaa just based on experience alone, like the speed and stuff like that. Oh, the 49ers more came in.
Right, the 49ers memory came back.
So do you pick Kwanzaa for this, or do you feel like, and I do agree that Gomez has almost like earned his starts with his performances out of position?
I think Gomez could be a bit like the Gravenberch one, where you're going, you're starting tonight and you're starting Wednesday. And I think there could be a that. Listen, mate, they might be fucking playing right wing today. You never know. Like, it could be, like, we're going to get you that goal, Joe. We'll play everywhere else. Put him right wing. But I mean, I think there could be that point. I think he does Kwanzaa in a weird way. I prefer Gomez, but I think he does Kwanzaa just because Gomez is a bit of a spare part where he can play loads of positions for him and he can do loads of bits for him.
Right.
But also, when you have those type of players who do spare parts for you, you have to tell them when they're playing. You have to go, you're playing there, you're playing there, you're playing there. And I think you have to like kind of map out a little bit that you're going to get minutes here and you're going to do that with them. I think you do that with players of those type. Do you know what I mean? Like, you are going to get your minutes. Like, I know you played well and you've been excellent for me, one of our best players this season. But right now I'm in a bit of a fucking crisis, clearly. And you're going to do Luton and Southampton. So I think he does Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa or Gomez, if... Given that you have, like, let's say Robertson and Bradley and Van Dijk, and you're picking a center back, John, who are you picking?
Kwanzaa for me, because I feel like Gomez has nailed his spot as a fullback. Like, I don't see Gomez as a center half anymore after this year. How good he's been? Nah. Like, I feel like with, obviously he came off such a bad year last year, and granted, no one was exceptional last year, to be fair, but I feel like him and his confidence being renewed in that position is too hard to ignore. And I've been banging on this drum because I feel like Gomez, before Bradley came in, I feel like Gomez should be our permanent right back, and then we move Trent to midfield. I know Tim's not a fan.
Here we go on this again. Jesus Christ.
Right, but listen, in all seriousness, he's been basically flawless, both positions, right and left back. So I just see him there. For this game, Kwanzaa, right? If it's like an emergency, sure, you can put him in as a center back, but like I definitely just see him starting right and left back. And to Sir Z's point here, feel for Gomez. He's earned his place to start somewhere across that back four. I agree, because I felt like Robertson didn't do anything to get back his left back position. I feel like that was Gomez's to lose. I would have started him at the final, to be honest. I'm hot take. Yeah, I would have started him in the final.
Yeah, see, the only thing I don't agree with that is if you ask Gomez, he probably hates playing left back too. I feel like that's, to me, Kazi, that was like Milner playing left back. Like, I'll do the job, but you can tell it's very uncomfortable for somebody right-footed to play left back. If you've ever done it, sucks.
But he was great.
Like being a winger when you're a defender, it's a whole different game in terms of weight, because you want to go out wide. You never want to cut in to your stronger feet. So you want to go out wide as a back, as like a right back. You want to kind of like, you want to go away from the danger. So you want to go towards the touchline if you're going to escape. Well, if you're like, if your strong foot is there, obviously you're going to go that side. I feel like Gomez, and then now with Bradley, you kind of lost him that backup right back spot too, because Trent hopefully should be come back as right back. That's why I feel like he should get the spot at center back. He has deserved that, and he has all the qualities we need to be able to do that.
Before you start, Kazi, though, he like all the stuff that you mentioned, Tim, is valid, but he's been great at
left back. Left back.
Yeah,
he's been great. Andy Robertson's the best left back in the league.
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing. He's been great. I mean, he's done great, but he's done great
as a right back playing left back.
That's right-footed playing left back.
Playing left back. But Andy Robertson's the best left back in the league.
Yeah.
Because City don't have one. Arsenal stars Zinchenko, and I'm not arguing over the rest. So there's a certain time where Robertson, I agree with you, Gomez can count himself unlucky, John. He really can, because he was really good. But also, the level of Robertson can get to and what he can provide for you is a level above what Joe Gomez can provide at left back. Sorry. But you know what I mean? I mean, in terms of the fans I understand that point. Joe Gomez, I think, and Kanate will be Liverpool's probably centre halves in 2 years, starting for Liverpool. We forget how old Virgil van Dijk is, by the way. And how much he's on basically borrowed time. Joe Gomez, I think we forget his age. I think he's like 25 still, because he's been here for so long. And I think we also forget, by the way, is how good he is Joe Gomez was centre half before he got injured. Before in 2019, he was excellent. It was Van Dijk and Gomez, and then Matip comes in, and Matip was excellent. So Matip started the Champions League final, but we forget how good Gomez was last season, as centre half alongside Virgil van Dijk. So as much as we can say he's unlucky, and he is unlucky, he really is unlucky, but he's given himself his confidence back to go and play, and he will play centre half for Liverpool this season. I actually expect Joe Gomez and Kwanzaa to start centre half versus Southampton, probably.
Yeah,
I
probably.
expect him to get a centre half starting berth there. So, yeah, again, but we forget how good Andy Robertson is. And I think people have forgot that a little bit because he was a little bit out of form before he got injured. He wasn't at his imperative best, but he is the best left back in the league when he's on form.
Yeah, London Cup TV says, and I do agree to this. I see Gomez scoring at left back, cutting onto his right foot and shooting, which he's tried a lot of times and some good ones too. I do agree to that. He's also done well coming into the middle because I think when he's played the right back and done that inverted thing that we do with Trent, he has picked the spots to do it as opposed to like forcing to do it. I feel like that Trent does. Trent automatically goes there. I feel like Gomez has cut to the middle when the space is there and when it's available and taking advantage of it. Whereas I feel like Trent goes and parks next to the defensive midfielder, then it's not the same thing. It kind of like takes away the width. Whereas Gomez has the danger of going wide as well and then cuts in when he needs to. And yes, I still am banging on the drum that Gomez is going to score a ridiculously crucial goal this season sometime. That's how his first goal is going to come. I can see it
on Sunday, man. Imagine it on Sunday, fucking Wembley, man. Honestly, Joe Gomez, come on. It's the dream, innit?
Yeah, I love Gomez, and I think, he's like, he has been unlucky with his injuries and stuff. And honestly, if it wasn't for those, I mean, everybody forgets how great that duo was. And we thought we were set for like the next 5 years or 7 years or whatever at the time when it was Van Dijk and Gomez, looking at their ages and everything.
But that's also full credit to Matip. That's where the funny part comes in. We thought we were set, and then Matip comes in and he's excellent. It's like Conor Bradley, innit? Before we were set, then Conor Bradley comes in and goes, fucking hell, I'm good, And then we all go, well, he's good. And then we all forget what things were like. For Gomez, he's been really unlucky with injuries. Super, super unlucky. But he's still a young lad. It's because I think he's Liverpool's longest serving player, I think.
Yes, he is right now. Yes.
Yeah, right now he's Liverpool's longest serving player. So he's been here before. I think Brendan Rodgers signed him, which is fucking insane. That feels like a lifetime ago. So brilliant. I'm so happy for him, and again, he will get his moments.
Really happy for Bradley as well, because that's just another step towards what I want. And him knows where I'm going with this.
Yeah, bro, it's a case study though, isn't it, John? It's a case study for other players to look and go, he come in, gets his chance, starts. Now he's just starts for Liverpool.
How do you feel, Kazi? Because I don't really get you on here at the same time, and we don't really talk about it. How do you feel about the idea of Trent going to midfield? Because Tim has his stance, I have my stance, Anand has his stance, Gordo has his stance. I've never really heard you go into it too much. Trent,
I would have played him right wing today. He wants to stay up anyway.
Right.
I think Liverpool, since Trent went into this inverted role, have lost like 5 games of football since March. And a couple of those games of football, there's a few stewards' inquiries on, i.e. the Spurs away game. So, and then a few of the games Trent didn't start. So, as much as I'm not comfortable with Trent doing it, but the manager's argument will always be, will Liverpool win football matches? And then you go,
I don't understand that argument, because apart from that dip we had, we always won football matches when he was right back as well. We won the title with him as right back.
Last season, we were not winning football matches very often.
I understand that, but then we needed this creativity, so we came up with this solution, which worked then, because we didn't have midfielders like McAllister, Szoboszlai, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My thing is the argument of it's working, obviously we're winning, doesn't hold with me, because we were winning before when he was an actual proper right back who didn't want to constantly go on adventures as well. We won a title with him as a right back, so it's not like we were struggling before.
But then the other argument is, which you'll bring up, and which other fans bring up as well, and go, well, Klopp never changes formation. Klopp doesn't try anything new. He tries something new, then you go, can you put Trent back there? And you're like, yo, you can't win.
I'm okay with him changing stuff. Hey, I'm all for it. I mean, we were talking about it before we went air. Like, with the number of people you have, 4-4-2 maybe makes more sense, but he would never do it like as a starting lineup, maybe mid-game or whatever. But it's not like I'm against change. I'm not that fucking old. I'm just more talking about, like, I just don't like what I see day in and day out, and I don't like what I see out of Trent day in and day out, because I feel like he has lost all his right back capabilities ever since the dream of midfield has begun.
And I get that. But there's a part of this then. Let's just say if you're the manager, and say the manager's idea was to move him into midfield. Well, the backup right back wasn't a backup right back at the time, and he was playing left back for them and doing bits. We never had Conor Bradley as an option at the time. Let's be fair. Conor Bradley's took his opportunity to be an option. So what Conor Bradley has provided the manager is to go, now you have the option to do Trent full time. Because now I'm at a level where you can do this. Now you can trust me. That's the difference, is trust. So maybe the manager wanted to do this. We don't know. We haven't found out yet because Trent's injured. So it could be a part of this where he goes, you know what? I'm going to have Conor Bradley right back because now I can trust him to be at a level that I need him to be at. And we're just going to commit to Trent playing midfield and do it that way. Do you know what I mean? So there's a part of this that we just, the unsure is there now because we've never had Bradley and Trent fit at the same time. We've never had it. So we don't know what the manager's thinking. The manager might think, fuck it, you know what? We're going to do Trent full time and send him in. Because I think he's Liverpool's best player technically. On technical ability alone, I would put him up there in the top 10 best ever Liverpool players on technical ability. He is that good. He is a joke of a footballer. I get positionally, Tim. I understand your argument. And by the way, completely valid points, what you make on his positional sense. He's a bit mad. But technically on the ball, he's as good as anything I've seen. His passing range is a joke. His goals that he scored this season, by the way, City away, massive goal. Yeah. The Fulham winner. He doesn't get those goals unless he's playing that in this inverted role. But we're going to find out what the manager thinks when we get Bradley and Trent fit full time.
Because I agree with Sir Z. Like, I would not pick Trent over. I mean, I'm very comfortable. Out of all the players we're missing, like, I'm more worried about the midfield and the top line than Trent missing personally. Okay, I feel like Bradley can do both defensively
right now, and offensively. This is how unlucky we've been here, right? Because we've had a lot of injuries now in midfield. Trent would start midfield right now if he was fit today. Right. He would start this game midfield.
I can see that, yeah.
Because the manager would do it because he wants his ability on the ball.
Tim was struggling to say that. I can see that. Yeah,
I can see that when you're missing 10 guys. Yeah. If I'm gonna start soon, so I mean,
yeah. But this is a part though, Tim. You got to get an opportunity, and you go to Trent. You give me opportunity midfield, and he might come in and be the fucking best player, and then you start like Bradley's taking an opportunity, but he's provided Bradley. It's all about Bradley. He's provided the manager the conundrum. And he's saying, now what are you going to do when they're both fit? What does the manager do when he's both fit? That's the question. Does the manager commit to Trent in the midfield?
Yeah, but do you play Trent? Okay, like totally went off thing over here. By the way, London Cup TV says Trent in middle is when we go with a back three, which I do like actually.
Alonso does a back three, right?
Man, I mean, not this year. I'm assuming
Liverpool never go on the back
road, kind of an ordeal.
You need 5 centre halves to do a back three, 6 centre halves to play back three full time. You'll never do a back three.
Alonso does a back three, right?
Yeah, Alonso goes back three.
Well, I mean, you would sign according. That's what I mean. Like, that's why I'm assuming he doesn't mean this season as well. No. By the way, this is what I like about the morning shows, because with the time difference, we get a lot of like international audience as well. We had the gentleman from Uzbekistan earlier. We have somebody from Uganda actually watching on Instagram Live as well. So welcome to Kaluuya. So the Trent thing, would you start Trent in midfield over McAllister?
Once you think it was him.
What?
Bradley's, say Trent's fit tomorrow and Bradley's fit. Do you think he can miss the Trent midfield?
Over who? If everybody is healthy?
No, over no one. Bradley's fit. Trent's fit. What does he do?
You probably start Trent.
So you still think he does Trent right back? Because I don't. You see, I think he gives Trent in midfield.
Over who? That's what I was going to.
It's not over who. It's just another option. It's not over anyone.
No, yeah, but I mean, you're doing a starting 11, then start Bradley. If you're starting Bradley and Trent at the same time,
I'll put Trent in the midfield. I'll put Trent in the 8 over most of our other midfielders.
So you're putting him over Szoboszlai?
I'd probably do Szoboszlai and Trent as my two number 8s, yeah, all day.
So you're sitting McAllister?
Yeah, all day, yeah.
Yeah, no way.
Over Trent?
No way. That's why I don't want him. You're the guys trying to show him into the midfield.
No, I mean,
I would sit Szoboszlai, honestly.
There you go. Look, 3 different opinions. It's good. I like it.
Yeah, I'd go Trent McAllister. I'd go Trent Jones McAllister.
So you're sitting Endo.
I'm sitting Endo. Yeah, especially if we're playing at Anfield, we have 90% of the ball all day.
So you're doing Trent in the 6, though. Just to confirm.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, 8.
Oh, who plays the 6 role?
McAllister.
So you'll have a McAllister, Jones, Trent.
Yes.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a game where we have 90% possession, Kazi. That's insane.
Oh, I agree. No, it's a fair point, mate. Yeah, no.
I mean, I agree to this. If he was available today, I would put him on the right wing.
Yeah,
I would
there's an
put
argument for that as well, yeah.
Bradley on the right wing. Like, I would use both of them today, or you could use Trent as the right attacking mid today. But that's, I mean, today is really an exception to the rule, I think.
Right.
Hey, London Cup TV says he's dusted his boots and he's ready to go too. So,
Tim, then let me ask you a question. If everyone's fit, do you think he starts in Liverpool's best 11? Trent Alexander-Arnold? Surely he has to start somewhere.
If everybody is fit, that's why I'm putting it at right back. And I'm like, dude,
you're committing to the full
slap him and say, you are a right back.
Okay.
And put him at right back. That's what I would do. Because I think you get so much out of him. And he was not this poor defensively. The moment we teased with this midfield thing, he has totally given up on defending. Totally.
I don't think it's totally given up as such, mate, but I think it's a part where...
Come on, dude. Like Martinelli, how many times did Martinelli cut
Martinelli's done that too. Hang on. Martinelli's is probably his biggest kryptonite. Martinelli does that to him all the time.
I mean, you name a game, man. You name a game, I'll give you a left winger that cuts and then transfers.
Oh, come on. I don't know, man. I think that's harsh. I think he's a very okay defender, but he's not a very good defender. So there's a balance because he's going to win you the game on the ball. So that's where that's the balance comes in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like positives, negatives. What Trent doesn't give you on the other side, he probably make up for it.
He wasn't just okay defensively before this inverted thing.
Oh, he's good.
I think he was a decent defender.
He was a good defender.
Go with that, right?
Yeah.
He was a lot better 1v1. And yes, he would fall asleep sometimes. Somebody would make a run behind him. And you were like, we would take that as the weakness. But I thought when he was defending 1v1, when he was in position, he was a lot better defensively. Occasionally, somebody would run behind him or whatever in the back post and stuff like that. We've conceded some goals like that. But I feel like ever since like his defensive, he's just an okay defender now. And are you okay with an okay defender in the Liverpool lineup?
If he gets me to assist the game, yeah. So,
but that's not a guarantee.
Of course not. But that is not
because he's going to play okay defense. He's not. But
he's not guaranteed that he's going to play okay
as a right back. This is what people are like. Oh, look at he's like the top assistant defender. Yeah, as a fucking right back, he got most of those as a right back.
That's why he moved to the 8. That's why he moved to the 8.
You just said it's not guaranteed he's going to get you to assist the game. You're right. It's not also guaranteed one game that he's going to play okay defensively. He might play world class defensively one game. That's not a guarantee. So we don't know. I think this is why it's interesting with the next manager who comes in. Their biggest conversation is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Because he's at an age now where he should be dominating football matches. He's like 24, 25. And he should be Liverpool's best player for the next 10 years. So you've got to build a team around him, in my opinion.
That's why I actually like what London Cup was saying. Like, if you do a 3-5-2 and have a crowd in midfield, he could be one of those three in the middle. I wouldn't put him on the wing.
Yeah.
I can see that. Like, I think that's a doable situation. This current midfield in this formation, I think, is asking for trouble.
I think it works. I think it works if Bradley is a right back and him as an 8. I think it works.
Or Gomez as a right back, him as an 8. Yeah,
exactly.
Gomez.
But again, it goes back to the point I made before, and this is the key part of this conversation. We've never had Bradley and Trent fit at the same time. We've never had it. So we don't know what the manager's going to do.
Yeah, not since, obviously, we saw what Bradley can do and he got the opportunity. I mean, obviously, earlier in the season, they were both there, but,
Exactly, yeah. Beginning of the season, they're both there, but he couldn't trust Bradley. But now he can trust Bradley. So that's why the trust comes. You earn trust when you start football matches. That's as a normal manager. You've got your chance. You've earned your chance. You've started. You played well. You're my guy. That's what Bradley's now done for him. We are 5 days away from a cup final, and we cannot fathom a team without Conor Bradley in a can we for that game. We cannot fathom a team without starting Conor Bradley right back. And like, if my mind will blow if Joe Gomez starts right back that game. So that's where I'm very interested to see what the manager does when Trent's back.
That's why, like, when we look at the lineup today and, like, who's going to go where and stuff like that, I don't consider that as, like, what the hell are we going to do there? I consider that's taken care of as right back with, like, Bradley. Like, I'm not like, if we put left back somebody like Costas and stuff, I would worry about that. But I'm taking the right back situation as, okay, that's covered. It's almost like, I don't know, Diaz is not playing, so this guy is playing there. Jota is playing instead or whatever. I feel like he's that level of backup now that it's not like a huge drop to bring him in. In some ways, it's an upgrade in many ways, to be honest with you. Okay, as we wrap up over here, finally, See, like London Cup TV says, man, we can go on this for hours. You guys got me going. But Bradley comes into the middle too with the inverter role. He looks comfortable. And once again, the difference is same thing with Gomez. They do a right back and they do come in when the opportunity is there. Whereas I feel like Trent comes out wide when the opportunity is there. Ask Konate, who he would rather have as a right back when he plays defense. And I guarantee you he's going to pick Bradley or defensively. Definitely. I can tell that right now, defensively, definitely. Because I don't think Konate likes being at the touchline with the ball. He would rather put Bradley over there with the ball. He would rather put Gomez there with the ball.
He'll also pick the player who's going to win in the game.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I'm not disputing the impact he has attacking. I'm disputing the fact that he had that impact when he was a right back as well. What we're losing is not like worth what we're gaining. We're not getting a whole lot more.
You know what's funny?
Assisted left and right as a right back, and made Robertson better on the left side as a left back because we could attack from both wide angles. Whereas now, I think it has hurt our left hand side. Everybody blames like the Robertson Diaz combo, but I really feel like we're not as stretched as wide now, which makes it easier to defend the other wing.
Yeah, the width's gone, hasn't it?
Go ahead. Make your case. You're gonna go with it.
Come on. Listen. My preferred scenario would be Jurgen Klopp plays Conor Bradley by black and he commits the chance as the 8. That's my preferred scenario, and just commits to him as the 8, and says, "This is your 12, 15 games in a very fucking important run-in. You are Liverpool's most creative footballer, apart from Thiago, but that's not a player. So he is.
Hologram.
Well, he's Liverpool's most creative footballer. You could win as a game on a drop of a hat. You are playing in the 8 and playing Conor Bradley right back."
Okay, final predictions. Unless you have one more thing to throw in for your Trent thing there, John.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say all this conversation is going to be magnified 100-fold come the offseason, considering we don't know who's going to come in. We don't know how he's going to play. So everyone's going to be debating where Trent's going to play. So I'm all for it, man.
Alonso's just going to bring Frimpong in and we're all going to go, what the fuck is going on now? And then we all go from there.
Yeah,
so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, for the record, I've always been for Trent at the 8 because I feel like less risky there in terms of defense. Offensively, what he brings, he's just undroppable for me. I agree with you, Kazi, there. If we're building a team, we have to build around Trent, for sure.
Yeah.
That's my...
He's Liverpool's most important player right now, over Salah, over Van Dijk, because they've got 18 months left in the 30s.
Oh, okay. Like you mean for the long term. Okay. I know. I thought you were like now, and I'm like...
No, Liverpool for the next 10 years, Alexander-Arnold has to be it.
No, that makes sense. I thought you meant like now, and I was like...
Oh, God, no, Mo Salah fucking make goals.
No, I really think London Cup TV is onto something there. I do kind of like that. But, and we talked about this on Monday as well, that there will be some changes with the new manager, and there will be some players that everybody loves leaving because they just don't fit the system. And if you do like a 3-5-2, you will need more center backs, which means somebody else will be leaving and stuff like that. So it'll be an interesting offseason. I think it's going to be more interesting than a lot more speculation, not transfer rumor wise, but in terms of how we're going to play and who's going to be there. It's going to be an interesting preseason for sure. Normally, it's like vanilla, like we just throw them out there or whatever.
No Joel Matip.
It looks like the NFL preseason. Usually when we do Liverpool preseason, like no one cares. Like let's get to the games kind of a thing. This year is going to be interesting, I think, to see how we're playing, what we're doing differently, who's where and stuff like that. Okay. No pre or post match today. The boys will be back tomorrow night, followed by the fantasy gurus. So tomorrow night's back-to-back action. They will cover the game.
Gurus is a word you use very loosely there.
I forgot about my fantasy team.
I forgot about it for the last 6 weeks, but I'm out.
I've forgotten about it for the last 6 months. So, honestly, I'm like, this year could be the year. And then it was like, like how you were like, oh man, I really missed that. And you go back, you're like, no, I didn't really miss it. I just felt like that's how it was. I'm like, I'm going to start. And then I think I lasted 2 weeks this year. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
I got till Christmas and then there was like weird midweek games and shit. And I'm like, I just want to do every Saturday. Just stop playing games.
I mean, that's why, that's one thing about, that's why, when I do like the NFL, American football, like I'll just do, it's that weekend, who's playing. It's not a game of guess who's playing, which I feel fantasy is more about guess who's going to play as opposed to actually seeing matchups and stuff like that. I'm not saying there's anything. I mean, here's the thing though, you listen to those two guys, you realize there's a lot more into it than you thought. But I would be extremely pissed if I invested that much time, picked matchups and stuff, and then the dude is rested because they have another game on Thursday.
I think all three of us. I think all three of us should sign in now, make a pact, and we all start Kate Gordon.
I think the deadline's done for making transfers.
Yeah, that's another bullshit.
It's a game now. I want to make a change.
Yeah, you can't. You have to do it like a day before, fucking. Or actually, no, a day before the match, the first game.
Yes, the first game.
Match
so you can't even like, oh, the dude didn't start in the morning, so I'll put my guy off the bench in the. Nope. It's out.
So you're meant to know the ins and outs of every single Premier League football team's injury list,
right,
or suspension list. I'm meant to know.
I don't know if you have a City player, like if you had Kevin De Bruyne, I think you would have thought he would come in yesterday, right? And you would have gotten some points, but nope. So he says, I never pick Liverpool players. Don't want to John.
Fair enough.
Synonymous for jinx. Yeah, I do actually, which is my other thing. I have a difficult time picking people. Like, I'm not going to pick a guy from United because then I have to root for him and stuff. I think in soccer, my hatred for other teams is a lot more elevated than my hatred for the teams in like football or something like that. So I find it very difficult to root for a guy playing for Arsenal or a guy playing. I just can't. So then it doesn't become rational. So do what I do. Just don't freaking do it. 3-1 is what I'm going with. It's a Timuchin special. John, you were going with the squeaky bum 2-1?
2-1 squeaky bum, yeah.
Kazi?
2-0 Liverpool.
2-0 Liverpool. I like that. That's probably better tested and approved by my cardiologist. Okay.
I'm only going 2-1 because I know I'm going to watch it and you guys are. So, like, you guys suffer for it.
You bastard. He's growing up so much. Getting cynical and shit on us, fighting Groovy in our eyes.
You know, I had to handle interns and I was like, fucking hell, was this me a few years ago? Like this wide-eyed, annoying little shit.
Yeah. Something like John complaining about young kids. They must be like 10 years old or something. He's like chasing him around the office. Come here, sit down. Here are some crayons. Well, thanks a lot for everyone for listening, chiming in on Instagram Live, Facebook, YouTube. Please do follow us on YouTube as well. Subscribe there.
Get your merch.
And get your merch as well. We'll probably post a link later on today now that everybody's rocking. It's a lot more. I forgot my hat today. I think it's downstairs somewhere. But have a great day, everybody. Let's hope for some 3 points. And then we will be back tomorrow night. The boys will be back to cover how we won this game and who should be at midfield and all that good stuff. But have an awesome day, everybody. Take care.